Okay, so can you see my screen, the welcome PowerPoint? Perfect. All right. Well, welcome everyone to our August, hard to believe, August monthly leadership training. We're really excited that you can join us from all around the world, simply because, as I had mentioned, today in terms of the training, we've got recognition, which is extremely important, and I know it's very important to Trish. Bart will be joining us in just a second to share the presentation with me. But then we are going to interview Trish Schwenkler, who many of you know. She is a Presidential Diamond in ASEA, and we're really excited to hear what Trish has to say today. And then we're launching... just really quickly, everyone, if you could please, I'm just going to mute all. There you go. Just continue. If you are joining the webinar, in terms of a little bit of webinar Zoom etiquette, if you could please mute your audio and your video if you're going to move around, for the sake of the professionalism of the presentation, but also for the quality of the recording for those who can't join us today. So if you don't know how to mute your audio or your video, there's a little icon of a microphone and a little video camera either at the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen. It's nothing personal, but for whatever reason, if you can't figure that out, we'll need to put you in viewer mode. So thank you everyone for respecting that. I'm going to continue through the agenda here so that we can all stay on the same page. As I was saying, we've got our getting started sheet that we're launching today, or relaunching today. We're really, really excited to show you that, simply because we put it all together in a really easy to use format. And then we're going to go through some promotions, incentives and updates. There's a really special promotion in place, or incentive for us, particularly in Australia and New Zealand, for attendance to February 2018 National Convention on the Gold Coast. So Bart's going to run through that when he joins in. And then we're going to, sorry, I've got some people chatting with me. I thought it was Bart, so I'm just going to check to see where he's at. Hopefully he's found his iPad by now and I can promote him. Nope. So we're going to go through some new resources, because Dr. Robertson Ward has put out a phenomenal new book that you're all going to want to know about if you haven't heard about it already. And Nicole Dennis has been able to organise phenomenal shipping prices for all of us in Australia. So we're really grateful to her for doing that. And then we're going to run through some upcoming events, which we're very excited about. For example, today in Melbourne, Australia, we've got Nicole Dennis down there hosting the corporate event for the morning in Chinese and the afternoon in English for the corporate tour. So we'll go over those dates. Make sure you have your tickets. The early bird cutoff is today. It's really important for you to stay plugged in and to know what's going on. Okay, so when it comes to the Director 300s, in the last few weeks, here are the amazing people who have rank advanced to the Director 300 status. So I think Bart's logging on. So we want to put our hands together for these amazing people, because they're learning what it takes to go Director 300, which is the very beginning of the business, but in many ways it's extremely foundational to building our ASEA business. If you know how to go Director 300, long term, to be where Trish is at, it's about knowing how to develop and build Director 300s and show people how to develop Director 300s as a foundation. And then the next thing you know, Trish, you're at Presidential Diamond. So it's really a great process. Congratulations, Director 300s. These are our new Director 700s. And we want to put our hands together to congratulate the people who are moving up toward the executive ranks in the Director 700. Let me just see if I can find Bart here. Sorry about this. Bart's computer crashed at the last minute, so I'm just looking to find him so that I can promote him to join this. There we go. Okay. So, Bart, are you on? Just want to double check.
I am on.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Okay, so congratulations.
Sorry about that, everybody. I have no idea. My computer has never done that to me, but when I went to log on, it completely crashed. So,
no worries. So Director 700s, congratulations. We've got some brand new bronze executives over the last few weeks. Zhao Mary, Dr. Steve and Liz Osborne, and Amanda Bradford, who we know is on this webinar today. So congratulations to bronze executives. Well done. We're so excited for you because you get to experience the executive momentum pool. And then new silver executives, we've got Lin Hua Wu, Kayleen and Milton. And so congratulations to our brand new silver executives over the last few weeks. We're really, really excited for you. And then we have Alan Fitzgerald, who became a gold executive. So he's from Toowoomba in Queensland, where he's such a class act. He took his first overseas trip to the Bahamas on the cruise. An amazing leader, and we're very privileged and honoured to be able to work with Alan. And then a massive congratulations to a brand new diamond bearer. This is Mel Sword, and this is a beautiful little ad that's been put together on Mel. Well, for somebody who knows Mel, and he's just done such an amazing job. He's definitely a talented business builder, and he's a leader of leaders. He's an absolute inspiration to listen to and to learn from. We've both picked up so many gems from Mel over the years with what he says and what to remember when looking for people. And so we're really, really proud of you, Mel. I'm very, very excited that you're doing what you're doing, because you're helping your whole team move forward as a result of that. So congratulations. So fantastic achievements. The virtual office hasn't recently updated the last few weeks. So we have Kaz Nicholson and Jen Sherwood, who in week 26 and 28 were ranked number 1 and number 2 as top associate enrollers globally. So they're underneath Sep and Yeska, and they live in Perth in Western Australia. They're doing an absolutely phenomenal job. We're so excited for both of you. Congratulations. And then Karen and Wayne Pickstone, who came in number 10 for emerging leaders in week 28. So for those of you who may not be recognised in this round, I'll make sure it's all updated for next month. It can only do what the virtual office produces, so make sure we get it all out. But massive congratulations to all of you and the fantastic achievements. Director 300, brand new people coming in as associates. This is an amazing company, and we're about to find out a little bit more about why, as Bart's going to interview Trish Schwenkler. So we're going to turn the time over to Bart and Trish.
And I'm not sure if Trish needs to be promoted or not.
She was on, there she is.
Okay, hello. You there, Trish?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah. Yes, we can hear you. Fantastic.
Okay.
So glad you could join us on the call today.
Yeah, glad we could finally make it. We planned for this for a few months. Great to see all Australian friends here. Big congratulations to all the amazing rank advancements. Hi, Sep and Yeska. There they are, those amazing people. Fantastic. There's Kat. Hello, everyone. Great to see everybody.
Hi, Trish.
Hi, Trish.
Hi. So Bart, I have some slides here. I don't know if you just want to do an interview, or if you'd like me to just kind of go through my slides and then finish up with anything else, or what would you prefer?
Well, you know, if you've got some slides you'd like to share with us, let's do that. I've got a few questions, but we'd love for you to share. So I believe that from your end that you can just share your screen and
okay.
And obviously what we'd like to do, just for those of you who don't know, gosh, Trish, we go back 23 years. We've known each other for a while. We've been we've been involved with this industry. You were a leader in other companies. You've taken a look at some things and obviously found your home with ASEA, and we're so grateful for the leadership that you provided. You definitely blazed the trail for that. We're incredibly grateful. So yeah, if you've got some slides you'd like to share, that'd be great.
Okay, appreciate it. Great to be with you today. I have a lot of respect for Bart and Melissa, and I'm very honored to be in business with them again in ASEA, and super happy to be on the webinar today. So yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see, let me bring up my keynote. There we go. All right. You know what, you guys, I was putting together these slides of course, before the call, and I got emotional putting them together. So I'm teary-eyed before I even start this. But I always like to introduce my husband, Bob. I'm kind of the one who does most of the talking, but he does a lot of the background work, as many of you know. We live in Idaho. So some people know where that is, but even people in the United States normally don't know where Idaho is. This is a picture of me when I was about, I don't know, 10 or 11. I'm in my brownie outfit. If you're in the United States, most little girls go in the brownies. We sell Girl Scout cookies and things like that. But when I was a young girl, I wanted to grow up, and I wanted to be like my aunt. My aunt was a missionary in Brazil, and I wanted to grow up and do something important like she was doing. And that was my dream. But I grew up, I met a handsome guy named Bob Schwenkler. We got married. We had 3 children. I have a high school education, never had the opportunity to go to college or go to university, never really had a serious job. I married Bob in my early 20s. Bob has an engineering degree from Johns Hopkins University. He earned a good living. We lived in a nice home. And I was grateful that I was able to stay home and take care of my own children myself. But I still had a yearning. And in 1993, I was introduced to network marketing. And when I discovered network marketing, I resonated with the fact that health is your true wealth, as Mahatma Gandhi said. And I knew that through network marketing, I could help people be healthy. And health is the foundation of everything. If you're not healthy, many times you can't work, you can't enjoy your family, etc. I learned about the global censorship of health information and the fact that pharmaceutical companies with their billions of dollars pretty much control governments around the world. And it doesn't matter if you're in Australia or Europe or the United States, the people with the money are the people with the power, and the people with the money are the pharmaceutical companies, and they call the shots. And that's probably why ASEA isn't, fully a product in Australia yet, is because of the power of the pharmaceutical companies. But I realized that the only way that people were going to hear about true health breakthroughs was by word of mouth. Because of the laws, you won't hear about true health breakthroughs if they're natural in the New York Times or, the newspapers in Australia or TV. And when I joined network marketing, my main objective was just to be a light to people, to bring light to people's lives, simply to tell the truth about health products that I knew from personal experience could help people and many times transform their lives and even provide miraculous results. I started locally. I was a housewife. I didn't know anybody outside of the United States. I knew very few people outside of Idaho where I live, but I started talking to everyone I knew and everyone I met. One of the people that I talked to at that time was my aunt who lived in New Mexico. It turned out she knew people in California. It turned out they knew people in Sweden and the Philippines. And through the power of networking and network marketing, even in those early years, I began to realize the power of network marketing if you have a great product to be able to really transform lives around the world. So that's how I got started. But a few months later, my husband lost his job. In the United States, when you lose your job, they give you a pink slip, right? And that's when you're downsized, right-sized, capsized. That was the day that we learned that the term job security was an oxymoron. I attended one of my first network marketing meetings, and I learned that network marketing businesses allow us to experience all of the benefits of being an entrepreneur without taking on the risks of a traditional business. Just this morning, I did a webinar with someone in Norway who just purchased a franchise for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know how much that is in Norwegian kroner. She had to get herself in terrible debt to start a business. And what I love about network marketing, especially about ASEA, is for just a few $100s, US or Australian, you can get started in a business that can expand beyond your wildest dreams. I saw this slide for the first time at one of my first meetings. I'd rather earn 1% of the efforts of 100 people rather than 100% of my own efforts. I'm seeing if I can move these. I don't think I can. You can't see the whole slide, but essentially by building a team. Most people earn from a 40-hour work week, but in network marketing, you can earn from a 40-hour day by leveraging the efforts of other people. Some of you saw this when I came to Australia, but I always like to share the story of my family that I was raised in. I'm standing in the back with glasses. My mom and dad are sitting there with babies on their lap. My parents have 8 children. In this picture, there are 7 of us. My dad went to work at the telephone company every day. When he came home, my mother went to work, and she worked as a waitress. She had no marketable skills, similar to me. My parents were always tired. They were always overworked. I took on the responsibilities of taking care of my younger brothers and sisters and cooking and cleaning while my mother was at work. And if my parents got sick or if they took a day off, the income stopped because everything depended on them. So the first time I saw this picture, I said to myself, I love my parents, but I don't want my life to be like theirs. I want to make a difference, and I also want to have more freedom. I want to have a better life for myself, my husband, and my children than my parents had. And so I jumped in and I got started. I knew that I wanted to make a living while making a difference. I didn't really know how. Like I said before, I didn't have any really credibility in the business world or any experience in the business world. Oh, I think I put the wrong slide here, but that's okay. Okay, so where I met Bart and Melissa actually was in this first company that I joined. I stayed with that company for 15 years. My first year, I did a lot of presentations. I told everybody I knew and everybody I met about a wonderful health technology, and at that time, a wonderful company. And after 1 year, I wasn't making very much money. I wasn't rich yet. That's when I learned about the 3 stages of network marketing. Then the first stage of network marketing, it's similar to a traditional business where you're investing time, not necessarily a lot of money, but most franchises don't even cash flow for the first 5 years, which is actually what this lady from Norway told me this morning. But I kept working. I kept focused with the help of my amazing sponsor, who Bart knows. That was also his sponsor in our first company. And after my second full year in network marketing, I had replaced my husband's full-time income. He never had to get a regular job again. We had the freedom to both work our home-based business and raise our 3 children together. After 5 years, we became Diamond, which meant that we had a nice 6-figure income. And after 7 years, actually in our 7th year, we became 7-figure earners. In our first company, we became one of the top 10 global earners. But best of all, every dollar that we earned represented people who were having miraculous health experiences, people who were able to earn a part-time income, a full-time income, or even an amazing income like we had. And I love this industry. There's no other industry on earth like network marketing. Bart and Melissa, I don't know if you can move our camera pictures. Oh, I can move them, never mind. Okay, so some of you may have heard this quote. One of the things Bart and Melissa asked me to talk about was some people who have inspired me along the way. One of them is Zig Ziglar, this famous quote that you can get everything you want in life if you just help other people get what they want. And in network marketing, the focus is always on other people, just like Bart and Melissa in this webinar. Their focus is on the people who are advancing in rank, their new directors, their new 700s, their new bronzes, silvers, golds, and even diamonds. That's where our attention is. It's on bringing a breakthrough message to other people that can transform their lives. Now, for some reason, my slide is not advancing, which I have no idea why that is happening. Let's see here. Okay, well, I'll just go here. Okay, so after 15 years, I left that company. I'm not really a business person, but I could just see that the company was trending in the wrong direction. But more than that, I just had a feeling that it wasn't my home anymore, that I could no longer, with my whole heart, promote that company and those products, primarily because the executives in that company seemed to not be doing things with integrity. They seemed to not be doing things that really helped people and that really helped people in the field. And so I went looking for another company. I have no other skills except network marketing. I have a high school education. I've never had a serious job. At that point, my husband hadn't had a job for 15 years and he was in his 50s. So who was going to hire him? So really our only option was network marketing. And as we all know, there are thousands of network marketing companies worldwide. That year and a half was probably the most painful year of my life. During that year, I almost seriously died of anxiety. If someone could die of anxiety, it would have been me. During that year and a half, I joined 5 different companies. Even though we had earned a lot of money in our previous company, we had invested in a commercial building and with a partner, and we finished a commercial building right after the September, the Twin Towers crashing, and the economy crashed with it. Our partner went bankrupt. We were left with a huge multi-million-dollar mortgage that we had to pay every month. And at that point, we had very, very little income coming in. And I prayed for a company that I could really believe in, that I could once again promote with my whole heart, knowing that I was really blessing people's lives when I told them about that company. So after a year and a half of searching, like I said, joining 5 companies, pretty much ruining my reputation. Probably Bart and Melissa and other people who knew me thought I had absolutely lost my mind. Fortunately, I was introduced to ASEA. The day I was introduced to ASEA, I was in my car driving around Boise where I live, and I was trying to do cold calls for the network marketing business that I was in at the time. My back was to the wall financially. I knew I had to build a business. My husband is a great support. He does, all the online things, but I'm the person that has to build. I'm the person that has to prospect. I'm the person that has to do, the opportunity meetings. And I sat in my car all day and I cried because I couldn't make myself do it, even though I had to do it. And I just said, you know what? I just said, God, if you want me to be a waitress like my mother, lose everything I've worked so hard for, lose my home, lose my investments, that's fine. I'll be a waitress. I'll live in an apartment, whatever I'm supposed to be, I'll be. And that day I got a text about ASEA. And I went online and I started Googling ASEA. At that time, there was a website called Discover ASEA, very similar to Amazing Molecules. It was the only thing I could find about ASEA, and it was by Alan Noble. So Alan and I connected. Alan told me this incredible story of this breakthrough in health, this redox signaling technology. Completely different from any other health products that had ever been brought to the world. Not a juice, not a vitamin, not a pill, not an antioxidant. A completely new frontier of science, heavily patented, no competition, no copycats. In today's world, that's virtually impossible to find. And also, he started telling me about the miraculous stories, including his own father. Alan doesn't tell this story very often anymore, but when he found ASEA, he was not looking for an opportunity. His father had been diagnosed with a very serious disease that the doctors had recommended chemo for. And his dad started doing the chemo, and the chemo started damaging his lungs. And at that time, Alan's dad was in his early 70s, and he was still windsurfing in Donegal Bay in Ireland. And his dad said, I'd rather die than drag around an oxygen tank for the rest of my life, and I'm not going to do chemo. So what Alan did is he started looking for something that could help his dad. He had left the network marketing industry. He was tired of Me Too products. He was tired of companies that didn't know what they were doing. He had started his own IT company. So, but he ran across Sue Brunchley, who many of you know, who became Alan's sponsor. He knew her from a former network marketing company. she told him about this redox signaling technology. What Alan did, at that time, Alan lived in the US, but his father lived in Ireland, and he started sending ASEA to his dad and telling him to drink 12 ounces a day, which is a third of a bottle. And his dad did that. So in Ireland, you can't just go get a doctor appointment anytime you want to because it's socialized medicine. So his dad had to wait 4 months to get another test to show, you know, about how the disease, I hope I didn't say the bad word, started. But anyway, he went back to the doctor after 4 months, and the condition was completely gone, completely gone. And when that happened, you know, Alan became the biggest believer in ASEA ever. It truly saved his father's life. And he started telling me, you know, how this technology had changed his wife's life, how it had changed his father's life. He told me story after story of people who had had miraculous results with ASEA. And everything resonated with me. I learned about our founders. I'm sure all of you know the story of how Vertus and Tyler turned down an offer from a pharmaceutical company that would have guaranteed generational wealth. And in Vertus's retirement, he started a network marketing company. Now, I'm fortunate, extremely fortunate, that I was there in the early days. And, you know, I live close to Salt Lake City where I can drive there. It takes me about 5 hours. And so in those early days, we would drive to Salt Lake probably every month. And Vertus would actually do the meetings, and he would tell this story, the true story. And every single time, Vertus would, you know, tears would roll out of his eyes. And I just so admire, and, you know, this man who, you know, at the age, it came out of retirement when he could have just, you know, relaxed and spent time with his family to start a network marketing company. So, you know, as you all know, we have seen tens of thousands of lives change worldwide. In fact, yesterday I just came home from the Global Advisory Council meetings in Salt Lake City, and I should have gotten these numbers together. I think they said there have been 88 million doses of ASEA that have been consumed worldwide without a single incidence of an documented adverse reaction. And so many miraculous experiences. I mean, you know, Sep and Jeske have such a compelling, you know, miraculous experience. You know, Danny Doyle, you know, not everyone does. We love this product because it also prevents challenges, and people like Lorene, you know, our new diamond in Australia, you know, great athlete. You know, she's not had maybe these very profound miraculous changes, but, you know, ASEA is for everyone. And so I fell in love with the product. I fell in love with the founders. But you know what, you guys, I also fell in love with the financial opportunity, because money's not everything, but it does rank reasonably close to oxygen. And you know what? It's funner to be rich than it is to be poor. And, you know, just the idea that if you have a company that you truly love to the core of your being, at least for me, and I'm sure it's true for all of you too, you know, it's challenging. It's extremely challenging. But we can create the lives of our dreams at the service of others, not at the expense of others, with ASEA's financial opportunity. So I wanted to show you this picture. Some of you have probably seen it, but some of you probably haven't. So this is a flow chart, and this is what Tyler Norton taught at one of the early bronze base camps that I went to. So this guy, Mihály, he's a Czechoslovakian scientist dude, and he did some studies on people, and essentially he divided people into various groups. So you can see, well, let me see if I can move this again. Yeah, there you go. Now I can see it better. Okay, so this shows on the left side the challenge level. Okay, so at the bottom is a low challenge level, and if you have a low challenge level, your life is full of apathy. Now, if you have a high challenge level, your life is full of anxiety, right? which is where I was when I found ASEA. I tend to be a pretty anxious person anyway. I mean, I would get over the top, like screaming, crying for hours, anxiety. And then on the bottom, you can see when your skill level is low, again, you're in apathy, but when your skill level is high, you're more relaxed. But anyway, the point where you want to be, I'm sure you don't have like a pointer or something, where you want to be is in flow, okay? Up in the yellow there. That's when the challenge level is high, but your skill level is also high. And the studies that this guy did showed that people are actually the happiest when their challenge level is high, but when their skill level is also high. And I put this chart on the front of my ASEA Daytimer. I carry it everywhere with me for a couple of reasons. One thing I did in my early ASEA days, well, I would say really the first 3 years, every single day, I would realize that the challenge level was high, but I didn't consider my skill level super high, but I made a commitment that every day that I would work on increasing my skill level. And I told myself, you have the skills you need, you know, to get into flow, to get out of anxiety and into flow. And I think, you know, by doing that, I probably created some like, what do you call it? Energy, metaphysical, like kind of a metaphysical energy wake around myself, because, you know, it is about what you do, but it's also about the vibration you put out. And so I kind of forced myself to be into flow every day, to get out of anxiety, to get out of worry. And, you know, it's kind of interesting now because I almost have the opposite challenge. I almost have to stay out of apathy, because it's like, well, I don't think I'll go there. But anyway, it's, well, let's say I almost could be in relaxation. Let's put it that way. I almost could be more in relaxation. And so I kind of have to challenge myself every day to stay in flow, you know, keep working on my skills, and for various reasons to keep my challenge level high. So anyway, I just thought that might be helpful to some of you. This flow chart probably saved my life, as far as in many different ways. This is one of my favorite quotes. Hope is the foundational quality of all change, and encouragement is the fuel which keeps our hope alive. I love this quote by Zig Ziglar, because truly it is the hope that we all have, that we can change lives with ASEA. You know, we can change people's lives with our products. We can change people's lives with our comp plan. We can change people's lives with our mission and our purpose. And that this truly is the fuel, the hope that we have and that we can bring to other people. So when I found ASEA, it really was like a new day for me in many ways. What's his name? The guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. He says, if you want to be successful in any business, you have to transform yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And that's why we always say that network marketing is not just a transactional business, because of course it is. We get commission checks, we have to place orders and stuff like that. But more than anything, network marketing is a transformational business. And I'm going to tell you this, and probably some of you experienced this too. Network marketing is a transformational business, but ASEA is a transformational business. The products transform our health. And again, I've been very fortunate that I've been able to spend quite more time than most people in the early days around our founders, but lately around the people who run ASEA now. You know, our CEO. Well, I'll talk about them in a minute. I have a picture for of them, but I wanted to show you this. One of the questions that I don't know if it was Bart or Melissa sent me is, you know, what were my goals when I started ASEA? Now, this is an actual thing that I typed out in my early weeks, and I still carry it in my day timer. And I don't look at it every day, but I think just the energy of it, because I carry my day timer everywhere I go. So I'm just going to read it to you, that my why, my passion, I wake up every day and celebrate my mission to make my life and other people's lives better. I celebrate the fact that I get to empower people to improve their health at a core level. I love meeting new people, building relationships, building teams. I love being where the action is, where the energy is high. I love the transformational aspect of network marketing. I like to challenge myself every day to create new things. I love letting the spirit work through me to transform my life and the lives of others. I love the reality of residual reproductive income. I love becoming. So this is a quote: combine authenticity with your empathy for others, and you have found the genius of being humble. So my 90-day goal was to become a gold executive. Now, I had zero spillover. To this day, no one has placed a single person in my downline ever. So Alan Noble is a great sponsor, but my team grew very fast and he had to put all his people on his other side. So I completely built both of my own binary legs. And the reason I have a check mark by these is I accomplished all of these within the time frame that I set. My 6-month goal was to be a diamond. My 12-month goal was to enjoy a $15,000 to $40,000 a month monthly income. I am in flow, I am happy, I have fun, I follow the yellow brick road, I am guided by the spirit, I work hard, but I let things flow. I follow my own internal rhythms, I listen to my own intuition and common sense. And then my 24-month-old goal, my 24-month goal is that I would be a triple diamond. Now, I was taught that when you write a goal, the date is just a guess. You can't control the date. All you can do is control the energy and the work that you put into it. I always say that overnight success is usually the result of 20 years of hard work, and that was certainly the case with me when I came to ASEA. I had 16 and a half years of network marketing experience and contacts and things like that. But I think, to me, the fact that I did accomplish all of these in a time frame that I wrote down is kind of a testament to that. I did find myself, I did find a way to put myself in flow every day. And then, you know, Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, he says you should never, you know, make a goal sheet about what you want to get until you've made a list of what you're willing to give, because there is no something for nothing. So to this day, I have, this is on a big poster board. It's above my bed where I look at it every night. So what do I give? I give the best leadership I can for myself and for all of ASEA. Gratefulness and optimism. I give of myself and get out of my comfort zone every day. I go the extra mile in prospecting and follow up. I tithe time and money. I give as many hours per day as possible to ASEA while still keeping in balance. So the two necessary ingredients to build a network marketing business are personal growth activities, learning how to keep in flow, learning how to transform yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I could talk about those for another hour or two, as well as results-oriented business activities, which is, you know, prospecting, doing meetings. You know, Danny Doyle is the famous meeting guy. I mean, he's always, you know, doing meetings here, there, and everywhere. So, I mean, the bottom line is that with ASEA, I mean, my childhood dream started as a little dream in my heart. I never knew where it would lead me, but where it has led me is to ASEA. And, you know, maybe I shouldn't say this, and I don't hardly ever say it, but I'm kind of in a weird mood today. And I don't mean this in a boasting way, but I don't think ASEA would be here if I had not joined ASEA. You know, it may have, but, you know, the team, I mean, I won't say that I've built it. I've found some leaders who have built teams, who have found leaders who have built teams, who have found leaders to build teams. But without this team, ASEA would not exist. So I want to thank each one of you. I want to thank Bart and Melissa and, you know, all the other great leaders, Sepp and Jeska, and, you know, all of you who are on here today, because without all of us, ASEA would not be here. And so ASEA can be the happiest, the healthiest, the most fulfilling, and the most prosperous time of your life. You know, some of the great things you can experience, of course, are our diamond trips where we go to exotic locations. But of course, you guys live in an exotic location. ASEA has given us reward trips where, you know, when you're an ambassador and presidential, they give you this exorbitant amount of money that you can use any way that you want. And, you know, typically what we do is we take our family on trips. In fact, we're going to bring our whole family to Panama this year, including my daughter. My youngest daughter is 30 years old, and today she was texting me engagement rings. So it looks like my youngest daughter is finally going to get married. The other two are not married yet, so that's kind of exciting. ASEA also has a Premier Reward program. I'm a big boater, and we were planning to buy this boat, and right after we bought it, ASEA introduced the Premier Reward program, where they actually, you know, paid for this boat for us. Sometimes I hesitate to talk about these things because they seem out of reach for people. But I remember when I was new to network marketing, Bart, and I went to Spokane, Washington, where your and my sponsor lived, and I sat in his gold Mercedes, and I dreamed that someday I would have a gold Mercedes. It seemed really far away. But you know what? You dream those dreams, and they really can come true. So again, money's not everything, but it does rank reasonably close to oxygen. It makes life a lot funner. You can give more, you can have more, you can do more. It doesn't matter if you're a housewife or a doctor or whoever you are. ASEA is changing the world one cell at a time. I wanted to just, I know I'm probably going too long, but before I leave you, I wanted to talk a little bit about the recent advisory council meetings that I was just at this week. Now, this is a picture of our new, trying to move these video pictures again, of our new facility that ASEA is building in Pleasant Grove. We were the first associates to ever take a tour of this building. It's almost finished. Now, ASEA has spent over $1 million, of course, on this facility. They also, a couple of years ago, they built a new production facility. ASEA has invested over $1 million in our new IT framework. ASEA also has invested over $1 million in this study that they are going to be introducing at convention. And they've also spent over $1 million so far in Asian investment. Now, at this meeting that I was just at, our president and our CEO, who I love, they said, now, you have to understand, we did not invest in our infrastructure, our research, and our global expansion unless we are planning on being here for the next 20 to 30 years, unless we are planning for massive global expansion. So this is not talk, you guys. This is not hype. You know, this is the real deal. I sat at those meetings the last few days with these guys. Now, Tyler wasn't at the meeting. Sometimes he is. But I want to tell you this. You know, you may not have the chance to spend as much time with these guys as I do because I live close to Salt Lake and you know, I get to be on the advisory council and stuff. But I'm going to tell you what. Like, I just sit there and I watch these guys talk. So number one, they're so smart. They're so strategic. They're building ASEA to be a legacy company. Number two, they are always polite. They are always humble. They are always respectful to everyone, whether they have anything to gain from that person or not. I've learned so much from Chuck Funky and Jerem Webb, Justin Wilson, Tyler Norton, about just the power of a kind word. Just, you know, the importance of being kind to everyone, whether they can help you or not. you know, I'm not saying that I'm a genius at it like they are, but the idea of treating everyone with respect. And these guys live that. I see them live that in the way that they treat everyone. And this is my own personal belief, is that when you have a company like this, where you have honest, hardworking people, I mean, these guys put in incredible hours to build this foundation of security for us, you know, that we can depend on for the rest of our working years. Like, I think that this has to attract some type of like divine blessing or divine goodness on this company that brings good things, that attracts good things to ASEA and to the people who align themselves with ASEA. And I mean, I just sat there at advisory council and the tears flowed out of my eyes. I am so grateful. You know, so grateful that I was brought to this company and that I know these people and that I know all of you. And just this incredible, you know, mission that we're on, but wow, we can also, you know, create this legacy, you know, the lifestyle that we really always only dreamed that we could have. And yeah, it's not easy. I mean, you know, after 24 years in network marketing, I finally feel like I'm kind of starting to arrive. But you know, ASEA's mission really is to better people's lives and to be a force for good in the world. And ASEA's vision really is to become the recognized global leader in cellular health and redox-based technologies and achieve worldwide distribution of our life-changing products, our life-changing financial opportunity, and our life-changing culture. And so I am proud and grateful to be a part of this company. And I'll hand it back to you, Bart. Now, I hope that was not too long of a slideshow.
Trish, I got to tell you, that was one of the most fantastic presentations I've ever seen. And I'm sitting here with tears welling up in my eyes. And I just want to tell you that we have such huge amount of respect and kudos just for what you've done, who you are. And I got to tell you, you know, one of my biggest mentors has always been Tony Robbins. And I remember years ago, he says, if you want to be successful, you model or you duplicate the most successful people that are out there. And so the thing I just want to acknowledge is that you've kind of showed us, you've given us a chance to be a fly on the wall. And I hope that everybody really grasped that, to see what you did, the decisions that you made, how you worked on getting into flow. And I loved how you presented that. So I got to tell you, that's the easiest interview I've ever done.
Yeah, I kind of got a little bit of flow there, but thank you.
Oh, it was really, really good. And yeah, we're just so grateful for the trail that you blazed and the decisions that you made. And it's remarkable to see what you've been able to create just by making that decision. And you know what? Every single person on this call has the ability to do that. And we've got I mean, we really acknowledge you for what you've been able to do and put together. I mean, you've heard so many product stories too. I just thought there's one. Someone mentioned at the cruise that there was someone on the cruise that wouldn't have even been able to be on the cruise. Maybe just share that, or maybe that product experience, just so people have an idea of the power of what these products can do.
You know what? I'm going to show you this. I'm going to go to Facebook because I want to show you this picture of this this person. Let me bring up Facebook here. So. Yeah, when I was on the cruise, I met this young girl. She's 23 years old. Now, her mom is gold in Sissel Anderson's organization in Norway. And so I knew her mom, Brit. Let's see. I hope she has some pictures of her daughter here. Anyway, here's Brit. I knew Brit, but she brought her daughter on the cruise, her 23-year-old daughter. And, oh, I don't know if I can find a picture of her daughter. Anyway, her daughter is gorgeous. Just a beautiful, beautiful, I'll stop to share. I don't think I can find her. But anyway, her daughter is this beautiful, beautiful 23-year-old, perfect figure Norwegian girl. So she speaks pretty good English, not perfect English, which is great because I speak like no Norwegian. And on the cruise, she told me how before ASEA, this beautiful girl was diagnosed with some type of autoimmune issue that she had to walk with 2 canes. Her mother had to turn her over in bed at night. She couldn't have a job. And for 3 years, she was taking all kinds of drugs and all kinds of pills, and it was just making her worse. And this is the interesting thing. Her mother did not get into ASEA because of her daughter's experience. Her mother got into ASEA because she understood the science and she was impressed by it. And it wasn't until weeks later, after she made a commitment to be in ASEA, started building the business, that her daughter started using the product and had this incredible transformation. But hearing this story on the cruise just moved me so much. And I just thought to myself, if I never did anything in ASEA or network marketing except for change this one girl's life, everything would have been worth it. And the beauty is that we get to see things like this every day. So yeah, that was one of my favorite stories ever. And then Breet and her daughter, Juliana, her daughter's name is Juliana. They had never been snorkeling before. They had never been on a cruise before. And they weren't going to go snorkeling. I was talking about snorkeling and they said, well, that's too expensive. We're just gonna, when the cruise stops, we're just gonna get off and walk around the town. And I told my husband, I said, we are gonna take these people on a snorkeling trip. And we did. And they had never seen, the fish before. They had never snorkeled before. And it was just such an amazing experience to have, the financial ability. Hey, if you want to take someone on a snorkel trip, you can, So yeah, it was super great.
Thank you for joining us on this call. I really hope there were so many gold nuggets that you shared with us, and a brilliant presentation. So thank you again for joining us. Certainly welcome to stay on the rest of the calls. We're going to launch some new tool that Melissa put some work in. Or if you need to leave,
to see what it is, I'll be on. Thank you for inviting me. Great to see everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Trish.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bart.
much, Trish. I just wanted to add as well, when you are a partner with very successful people who have a long track record in the industry, it's no less of a role. So what Bob does for us, we just want to say, please pass on a thank you to him, because with what he's been able to do to help support you and create in your business, I just really want to honor and acknowledge him for that, because you wouldn't be where you are without him. So although we didn't chat with him today, we just wanted to make sure that everyone really knows and appreciates what Bob does. He's a very humble man. He doesn't shout from the rafters about anything, but he's absolutely brilliant, and we're eternally grateful. So thank you very much, Trish, and please say thank you to Bob from us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you.
Thanks. Wow, that was absolutely amazing. Almost. Yeah, it's so exciting. We're so grateful that Trish was able to join us, and we're going to continue on with the webinar. But whilst I get that set up for the review of the Getting Started sheet, I'm so glad that the energy is really high, because we're going to lead into a little bit of some analytical information. But we have our personal sponsor, Ed Weens. I'm not sure if Rebecca's on the line today. So Ed, I don't know if you have any comments on the back of what Trish has shared with us, but if you're there and you'd love to share, we'd love to hear from you whilst I get on to setting up the rest of the presentation.
Ed may have had to jump off. I'm not seeing him. I know he was on here to begin with. You there, Ed?
Oh, he was too.
Okay. Look, yeah. Just while you're bringing that up, yeah, just talk about the power of duplication, and I just want to acknowledge the time that Melissa's put into this, because one thing we want to do is we do want to set you up for success, and that's what Trish had mentioned as well, that our goal is to help you to reach your goals. So. So what we want to do is, as we're moving into this document that Melissa just brought up, this is a powerful tool, and I really want you to think of this as like that your business is a multi-million-dollar business. But fortunately, you don't have to invest that. You just need to invest your commitment and your desire to to get after it, learn, and to learn the nuances of the business too. There's some tools and resources that are there. And so what you want to do is not only set yourself up for success, but really to set your team up for success too. So your goal when you bring someone on board is to help them to realize the potential of what we've got here, help them find out how ASEA is a match for them, and to set them up for success so that they can succeed. And that's what this whole document is about.
Thanks, Bart. So with that being said, Suzanne Grist, who's on the line today, she did all the design. So I'm very grateful for her expertise. And she's been wonderful working with me to get this completed. And what I want you to know is there's a lot of information contained, but it's over 4 pages. And I'll obviously get into it in just a minute, but I need to pre-frame this discussion by letting you all know this is not a document that you're going to sit down and cover with people, your new associates who are committing to moving forward with the business in the one session. So the options were, I studied a lot of the different sites and a lot of different leaders' tools in this regard, and some of them start from 5 pages and sometimes go to 11 pages, and some of them are actually in the hundreds of pages of getting started. So this tool, and it is a tool, it's a booklet, and it's designed to be used in a very specific way, but you can do it over a set period of time with your new associates. It's more of a checklist. Think of it that way. It's a checklist. It's a one-stop shop checklist. But what we do is we use Bob and Trish Schwenkler's site a lot for helping people to get started. So this is essentially a checklist that we put in place that's relevant for our team. So it's broken up into a couple of sections. The first page really focuses on why ASEA, because everything starts with you. So this page, which I'll get into more details with, will go through each point so that you're aware of what's involved. This sheet really is about knowing who your new associate is, what they want, and how you can best support them, and for them to know what you're made of, what you're prepared to support them in as well. So it's really relevant, this page. That's why it's on the front page, and it's a lot of fun to go through this with the new associate as well. The second part of it is stay connected and informed. So this is where we can stay connected to our upline, informed. How do we stay informed? So we've got Trish and Bob's website down here. We have Zoom. We have a whole bunch of tools that help people know, what's coming up, whether you're in Australia, New Zealand, America. You just fill in your own details there with your new associates. And then the third and fourth page are devoted to immediate action steps for success, because our goal and our job really as upline is to help our new associates not get bogged down in too much information, but to move through to the stage where they're taking immediate action steps for success. They're not getting stuck, they're moving forward. We're holding their hands so that they can earn income, see the business actually in motion, earn income, start changing lives, and they're comfortable to get out there and talk to people because we're walking side by side with them. So that's also continued over onto the back page where there is some notes as well. So I'm just going to pull up another document so Bart and I can walk you through what that looks like, and just need to escape out of here for a second. So sheet, there we go. Share. Okay, so this is the very first page. Bart, did you want to kick it off?
Yeah. So look, this first statement, and what we want to tell you what we're about, and kind of mentioned this already, but Team Builders Global Mission Statements. Our mission statement is to build a massive global team of visionary leaders who are passionate about ASEA's products, culture, and opportunity, and who are driven to make a huge difference to the lives of others. So obviously our goal is to help you to reach your goals and to support you as this company and the company as it moves into a massive global expansion, because we really are at the right place at the right time.
So in terms of why ASEA, step number 1, with what I had mentioned before, everything does start with you. So as you heard from Trish, she made sure that she was being the very leader that she wanted to be right now in the present moment. She needed to conquer some major demons in her head when it came to anxiety, when it came to the position that they were in at that time financially. She needed to conquer herself and get out of that state to be able to change lives. And both her and Bob have built an empire as a result of being the very leader that they wanted, that they've wanted to become. So that's evidenced for all of you who've just listened to Trish as well. So Bart, you want to talk about the 6 reasons?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, I think it's really important with your new people to find out what it is that motivates them. Remember, our goal is not to impose our goals on anybody else, but rather to help them to achieve theirs. And so, you know, for example, for us, multiple reasons are here on this for us. Personal health challenge, help challenges of others, look and feel better, athletic performance, the business model. But ideally for us, it would be, we were looking for a business model and also a proactive approach for health. So when you get clear on this, it helps people to understand why. I love this 6 reasons, 6 minutes video from Dr. David Silverman. So, if you wanted to click on that and play that with your new prospect and just kind of find out what their driving reason is, why they want to do this, if they really want to help other people, whatever it is. So just get clear on that. Obviously, it doesn't have to be one, it can be, but identify what the top priorities are, and so that they know what their reason is.
The reason we've also listed the 6 human needs, I know when I was looking at ASEA, I wanted to make sure that all of my needs were going to be fulfilled, because this was going to be a long-term perspective for us. We didn't want to commit to a company or a technology and they were here today and gone tomorrow. So it needed to be a fit. This is from Anthony, a model from Anthony Robbins. And when you break it down and learn what it's about, it's really amazing when we can actually find out what's driving people at that time. So there's needs of the personality, and we're asking our new associates to tick what's relevant for them. So certainty, for example, for Trish and Bob, for Bart and I, there was a need for security, stability, consistency, and control. We were absolutely looking for that when we were starting out in our ASEA business. And there's a lot of people out there who love uncertainty or variety. So that's surprise, excitement, adventure. These are the people that we really want to work closely with to ensure that they're achieving incentives. They're going on the Bahamas cruise. They're coming to Panama. That's their joy. And we need to make sure they're challenged enough so that we can move them forward more quickly. Significance. There's a lot of people in this industry who love to feel special and have a sense of importance. There's no better industry, in my opinion, that acknowledges the leadership and the achievements of people more than ASEA, the company, and network marketing in general. So we need to find out if people are significance driven, if that's a need, if that's what they're looking for. A lot of people are not significance driven, so they wouldn't tick this. So we would have a better idea of how to work with them. Love and connection. So that's a need for communication, to feel unified and connected with and loved by others. Now that's the ASEA ethos. That's the culture of ASEA. Many of us, I would dare say, close to 100% of us are in ASEA for that reason as well. And then it's really important not to underestimate, we have absolute needs of the spirit, which is growth. As Trish had mentioned when she was talking, this is a personal growth business. Network marketing is beautiful because we get to become the best versions of ourselves that we possibly can become. And growth is really an important part to push through, to help people grow through. For me in the beginning, public speaking was in the absolutely petrified box, but I knew I had to do it. So, and the growth that I've experienced and the rewards, not that I'm unbelievably brilliant yet, but I know how I can be, and I'm excited to work on that. And contribution. This definitely drives Trish, Bob, Bart and I know Ed and Rebecca Weens as well. So it's the need to give beyond ourselves, to give, care, protect and serve others. That is massive. So if I was sitting down with Ed and he was going through this for me, it would definitely be contribution, growth, the needs of the spirit and certainty in my situation. So this is a launching platform to then have a conversation with people on those points as well.
I was just going to mention on this 6 human needs. It's interesting because when you have 3 of those needs that are met through there, it actually can turn into an addiction. That's why an addiction can be good or bad. And obviously you want to get addicted to good things. And so the growth, the contribution, the like Trish talked about, being able to, just say, hey, you're coming snorkeling, you're doing this, and being able to help other people, whether it's with the product. So, don't limit it to 1 or 2 things, but show people how this can really be a driving force with those 6 human needs, and even prioritizing the top, 3 or 4 that really fit for them. The next thing is this wheel of life. Now, maybe some of you have done this exercise before, and if you were, for example, on your financial health, if you were to measure that on a scale of 0 to 100%, totally healthy and financially free, where would you rate on that? Would you be at 50%, 60%, 20%, whatever that is? If you drew a line across there, and then if you did, all the way through here, how are you in terms of your overall health, for example, personal growth, your balance in your family? And it's interesting how all of these kind of relate with one another. Financial, for example, can affect, so many of these other things too. Your attitude, your social life, you don't have the money to get out and do the things you want to do. Obviously, you can create more surprise and things if you've got more finances, but they all tie together. And as you go through and you create this wheel, you can see that it's not going to be like a round wheel. And if you were to, put that wheel on your car, it'd be probably a little bit of a bumpy ride. And so the thing to do is to just identify, where you're at, because wherever you're low, that's where you really want to build and grow there. And I love, again, the example that Trish, used in terms of the flow and working on developing yourself, getting into the flow and creating more balance in your life this way. So it's just a good way to see how ASEA can bring this about for you.
So you go to every single quadrant and you put a dot there, and you draw lines. You connect it all with lines. You can color it in if you want, but it just gives you an idea as to where you're at right now.
Exactly.
You were doing current beliefs.
Yep. So, okay. So your current beliefs, look, there's if you're struggling, it's because there's going to be a challenge with your belief in something. It's going to be either with network marketing, it's belief on the products or the company, or usually probably the biggest one is just belief in yourself. And so similar to that wheel that we just talked about, it's really about looking at where you need to develop yourself. And so, for example, when I first got involved with this industry, I had hangups about network marketing. And so I thought, because I had all these preconceived notions on what network marketing was, who was in it, that it was a lot about people talking about making money and no one was, or it was about selling soap and shampoo, or I just didn't know. I had all these preconceived notions. And so what I realized that I needed to do, because I could see the people that were, that I was talking with, that were, my mentors at that time, and, they were great people. They were having fun. They were helping people. They were making a difference. So I realized that I just needed to build my own belief system. Now, it's very easy to do that. And here's a couple of fantastic resources. And obviously, there's a whole pile of books that you can get. But what we want to do is to create this and keep it very simple. But the networkmarketingpro.com, Eric Worre is a fantastic mentor. The bizmodel.com gives you a real good overview on that. So watch that video that's on there. Also, in terms of the products, amazingmolecules.com, the science of ASEA. Get familiar with the products. Do a little bit of digging. Listen to some of the testimonials, and you'll become, you'll become a missionary. You'll be on a purpose-filled mission because you'll understand the power of what we have. Truly, the company is, and the people behind this company is something that sets ASEA apart. So watch the video so that you understand the founders, the people who are behind that. And also, I would suggest listening to the videos on the culture of the company, because Tyler Norton brings so much to the company in terms of the culture of the company. And then obviously, like Trish talked about, we always work on building our belief system in ourselves. Always. Personal growth is everything. So always want to be looking at how to sharpen the saw, as Stephen Covey would say.
And you can add in your own resources there if you have favorite links or a favorite book as well to make some recommendations. Now, E is your desired income. This whole getting started checklist or document, it's about being really specific. Talking generalities with people usually can create confusion down the track. So we want to know, what do people want? Are they looking for extra money every month for disposable income? Are they comfortable? Are they looking for disposable income? Or do they actually need to make more money urgently to cover their current lifestyle? So this is where we give people an opportunity to let us know, what is it that they're looking for? And we can really help to sort people from, business builders to hobbyists in the beginning, and we can meet everyone where they're at. This gives us an idea. So motivation. is extremely important. Bart and I were motivated because we were not where we would like to have been financially. We were in a crisis situation for a various number of reasons. And we were highly motivated to make sure that this worked. The biggest concern we had was to make sure it was the right company, the right people, the right technology. And once Bart went to Salt Lake City, we were able to thankfully get that sorted out. So have them write down a few lines on their motivation. And then in life, there's typically two things that happen as human beings. We're wired to move away from pain or toward pleasure. So once we write down what our motivation is, it's a matter for us in the beginning to say, okay, what's the real cost if we choose not to move forward with ASEA? If we choose to not do something today about our current financial situation, what is that actually going to look like for us? And that was a massive motivator because we saw people overseas, Trish, Bob, and Ed, a lot of people who were already, well, Chuck and Tammy doing extremely well in this business. We were not going to miss this boat. There's just absolutely no way, because we knew in our hearts that this was the answer for us. And also, it's a matter, you were going to talk about time commitment.
Yeah, so look, this is, it's shocking to hear. I don't remember the statistics off the top of my head, but how much time people spend, or I should say waste, watching TV, and just gosh, with the time that we're spending even on Facebook, sometimes doing unproductive things, with our electronic devices, you need to make sure that you treat this like a business. So the idea here is that take your time, take your calendar, and mark out the things that are commitments. If you've got a job that you've got to be somewhere, well, then block out that time. If you've got some family commitment, maybe a date night, church commitments, whatever that might be, and then what you want to do is throw everything else into your business. And I remember even when I got involved in this industry to begin with, I thought, I don't have any extra time. I don't have time. But when I actually sat down and looked at it, I thought, I can carve out some time. And so I made a commitment that I was going to invest at least 15 hours a week. And I thought, I could probably even do a little bit even better than that. I'm going to invest 15 to 20, but a minimum. And so if you sit down with your new people and you identify and block out that time and say, look, this is the time that you're going to spend, and I'll help you to do calls and whatever we need to do, and just arrange that so that you know exactly the time that you're putting into it, so that can match with what your financial goal is.
You'll see as we move through this document that there's a red asterisk next to some of these points. And the reason why that is included is because that's the shortcut. If you have a limited amount of time with somebody, with your new associate, I should say, and you're meeting with them for the first time, the highlighted or asterisked points are the ones that you absolutely need to make sure that you cover. And the reason why time commitment is one is because we need to know where they're at and how we can best support them, as I've said. So the recommendation is a summary of this page, and it relates to the Team Builders Global Prospecting Introduction Sheet that you'll be printing off to have with you as part of this attachment to this document. So once we know how motivated people are, where they're at in their life in general, more importantly, what they're looking at income-wise and how much time that they've got to be able to contribute or allocate to their ASEA business, then we can do a quick screen share. We can then find out, give them a recommendation based on the following sheet. So let me just bring that up. Okay, so most of you are familiar with this sheet that we've created. So on the second page, there's ranks and compensation levels. So let's say somebody says, look, I really need an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a month, but I have 1 hour a week. Well, if they had 5 to 10 hours a week, or depending upon who they are, even if they had less, we could definitely encourage bronze to them as an example. So given that they only have 1 hour a week, then we can say, look, that's unrealistic expectations. This is because we want to set them up for success. We don't want to set them up for failure. So this is where we make recommendations based on what the information that we've provided them. And this prospect information sheet is going to be brilliant for you to have an easy reference tool to be able to put ranks into a proven track record of money that's come in through the statistics from ASEA in Australia, and you can make some really great recommendations for them. Did you want to add anything to that, Bart?
Yeah, so on that sheet, that's the back, that's a two-sided sheet, and you want to print that off, and some people have laminated that. It's a presentation. It's basically, where you can sit down at a coffee shop and you could go through and show people everything about ASEA, and you can, and so we don't have the other side here, I don't believe, but anyway, the idea is to kind of help them get clear on what their goal is and set some targets, just exactly like Trish did. And then you put the work in to get it done. Oh, there we go. Brilliant. Okay, so this is the front page. You can laminate this, and you've got all the information. You can talk about the, ASEA, the company, the stability, timing. You can talk a little bit about the technology in terms of what it is, the product, what Redox signaling are. Here we go. Got the 6 reasons again. Why. And again, you can just walk right through this whole thing. You can see the scientific validation. So it's a brilliant 1-page document, front and back. And so if you incorporate that with this other tool, you've got a really nice marriage of tools here that work quite well together.
Thanks, Bart. So let me go back to the original Getting Started sheet. We're going to move on to the next page now because we've made our recommendation. And then we're going to take a quick look at part 2, which is Stay Connected and Informed. You're not looking at your notes, Bart, because this is your section.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Stay connected and informed. You're doing such a great job. I just got comfortable here. Okay. So look, this is actually pretty straightforward. It's about knowing where to go for the resources, the tools, the help. Obviously, if you're in Australia, this is the phone number for that. Also, we've got the phone numbers for the email addresses for the upline. You'll also notice on here, for example, Trish, we've got her Facebook site here, so you've got the information to plug onto that. Jenny Robinson, you want to follow her Facebook site. I like what Ed Wayne says. He says you want to get to the place where you want to get to the spout where the information is coming out. So make sure that people get plugged into our newsletters, that you've got the resources and the tools, and where you can get all your questions answered.
So there's extra lines there for you to add your upline's details for your new associate as well. So when it comes to looking at some business essentials, keep an eye on the asterisks yet again, because this is what's a priority when you get together with your associate for the first time. So they need to download Zoom. Across ASEA, that's how all of the leaders are communicating with their team. So Zoom, it's easy. We've got to make sure that they download it there when they're with them to make sure that it's done. And that also includes the SoundCloud app. Because of the time zone change, we can't listen to these calls live. So Trish and Bob and I think a few other leaders, but mostly this has been what Trish has spearheaded. The SoundCloud, because of the charge up calls, they keep all of us motivated. They go for half an hour. They're full of a testimonial at the beginning. There's a different theme for each day of the week, which Trish has created. So what that means is every day there's something different. You'll hear from top leaders in the company. The testimonials will move you, and also they're extremely important because you'll hear more stories, and perhaps you'll come across somebody who has those symptoms and you'll be able to share and relate. So there's archived recordings you can listen to as well. We want to make sure our new associates know how to make a 3-way phone call, but first of all, they've got to make sure that their phone carrier, has the capacity for them to be able to do that, because edification of a third party we'll get into in a minute. Building your business without making 3-way phone calls or edifying your upline or your expert, you'll have 10 to 20% success when it comes to moving your new associate forward, or after you peak interest when it comes to moving your new associate or your new prospect into ASEA. So 80 to 90% or more when you actually use 3-way phone calls. So here are the 2 newsletters that we recommend. There's Trish and Bob's newsletter. Bob, I believe, does these mostly. He does a brilliant job every week of recognising the rank advancements globally, as well as really important information when it comes to upcoming events. And he usually has features an article in the beginning or some information in the beginning that's really appropriate and very interesting for us as well. So make sure that you subscribe at ateamsupport.com, and the password is associate. As well as our Team Builders Global newsletter is there, which is really important, particularly for our team in Australia, so you can be kept abreast of events, where they're happening and what's happening around the world as well. So in terms of the next box, it's setting a date to review the prospect introduction sheet that I brought up a few minutes ago with your upline. So we need to show our new associates how easy it is to use that sheet. If they don't have a laptop, if they don't want to do a presentation, through PowerPoint or whatever system they use, this document, as Bart had referred to, it is a complete overview. So we need to make sure they know how to use it. And events, obviously we need to make sure that people put their events in their planner, in their smartphone, and watch them do it with you. Daily, it's got an asterisk there because of the importance and effectiveness of charge-up calls with keeping us motivated. As well as weekly, we want to make sure that weekly our team, your new members, are plugging into our Discover ASEA webinar, followed by Quick Start training. So I've got the link there, and you can write in the time and the dates for your new associate. And then attend Team Builders Global Training. So we've got fast track training, and then we have leadership training, which is today's call as well. So you want to make sure that you're actually writing in the information so that they know where to go, which days, and change the time zone for wherever you're at. So there's a place to list other weekly events that may come up from time to time that you feel is important for your new associates to plug into. And then monthly, here's the leadership training from today. You can list other monthly events. And then it's an asterisk because we want to make sure it's not a given that corporate are supposed to support us in these quarterly events. They do that to support us. We need to support them by making sure, as an absolute must, our new people attend these corporate events. That's where our beliefs transform into a knowing. They're happening as we speak, or actually soon in Melbourne. We'll go through some details toward the end of the webinar, but this section is designed for us to write in the date and the location, depending upon where this new associate lives, of the next corporate event, because we're very privileged and honoured in Australia that corporates support us in this capacity. And then, of course, we all know that we've got the up-and-coming international convention, September 27th to 29th in Salt Lake City. If you want to meet Trish and Bob sooner rather than later, be at that convention. It's always an honour to watch them walk across the stage and to really hear from their heart who they are and their ASEA story. So along with a bunch of other leaders, Trish had shown photographs of the new corporate office. So we'll get into that a little bit more later in the presentation, but write down the dates as well as the national convention that's happening in the Gold Coast next February. So we'll get into that in a minute. And there's also a web page that I've put together that lists all of our team events as well. So moving forward onto the next page, that is a continuation of the staying connected. There is the training websites. I think you're muted. There.
There's a couple of websites that we want you to get familiar with. AmazingMoleculesTraining.com that Alan Noble's put together. There's some good information, some really great information, and really impressed with what Trish and Bob have put together on ateamsupport.com. So again, Melissa mentioned this, that where there's the little red asterisks, those are the kind of important things that you want to cover with your people right from the very beginning. The next thing is, again, just setting your people up for success means that when you register someone, they've got to know what their username, what their password is, what their ID number is. Go ahead and write all that information up there. Give them a little quick tour through their back office so they know how to set up their website. If they want to put a picture in their on their Facebook page or whatever, just help them to get that set up. Also, double click the personal details and just kind of walk through that whole thing. Learn how to join someone to your business. So when you sit down with your brand new person, just make sure that they know exactly where to go to place an order, to change or adjust their auto ship, and also how to sign somebody up. It's all pretty straightforward. You just walk through it. Just get familiar with it and help your new person to be familiar with it. And then also we want you to make sure that you're familiar with the enrollment packs. We're going to touch on that here in a second, but the enrollment packs are really critical. You want to understand the benefits of the enrollment packs as well. So the next thing is to understand, ASEA's goal is to set us up for success. So the director's bonus, for example, bringing on 2 people in the first 14 days. So that's actually 14 full weeks. So let's say if you enrolled someone on Wednesday, you would go 14 days out or 2 weeks, and then go to the end of that week, which ends Friday night, midnight Eastern Standard Time, which is the afternoon on Sunday or Saturday for us here in Australia. So obviously you want to put some money in people's pockets as quickly as possible. The loyalty program, again, we want you to take responsibility as this is your business. So if you're not familiar with the loyalty program, we've done trainings on that, but it's all pretty straightforward. All you got to do is click on what's in your back office and have a read through that so that you understand it. It's all right there. Also, know any of the other major incentives that ASEA is offering. In fact, there's a new Aspire incentive that we're going to go through here in just a minute too. So if there's anything like that, you just want to make sure that people are totally familiar with it.
I will download this document and all the attachments in the newsletter and then transfer it over to the website. So with that being said, there are attachments that you can see where it says see attached. You need to make sure you have an enrolment sheet with you so that you're organized with your new associate, and people need to tangibly hold the enrolment pack sheets to make a decision on that. As far as the loyalty program, it's extremely important for your new associates to understand that program, because because that's encouraging us to make sure our new associates or customers are on auto ship. People love to earn free product, and this guides us toward making sure that auto ship happens as a result of their understanding of this program. So we're going to move fairly quickly through the rest of it. When it comes to product basics, we all know that we need to make sure our new associates benchmark themselves. There's a results tracker that will be attached to this document as well. Part of the benchmarking is to take before and after photographs and to make sure that we're setting correct expectations with our new associates. If they think they're going to take one bottle of ASEA, for example, or use one tube of Renew 28 and experience a miracle in 1 week, we need to let them know where the boundaries are, what the expectations are, so that they're on the same page. Now, how to use ASEA's products. So yet again, the ateamsupport.com website for Trish and Bob. They do a brilliant job of how to use the products in a video format. And then Dr. David Silverman has put together Understand 3 Times in 5 Minutes experience when it comes to getting the product on people, Renew 28 in particular on people as well. And then there's the testimonials website for people to get familiar with. So step 3, which I'd mentioned, is the most important part of this document. It's making sure that our new associates can keep moving forward with really phenomenal momentum with us by their side.
Sure, and with this, it's all about just setting the psychological preparedness. And obviously what we're looking to do is to avoid the emotional roller coaster ride of network marketing. So look, when people have a long-term, we all have good days, we all have bad days. It doesn't matter whether it's our personal relationships or our job. And it's going to be the same with building an ASEA business. You're going to have days that things go great and other days where it doesn't. But the way to avoid the emotional roller coaster ride is a couple of things. First of all, you want to have a long-term perspective and just realize that you're going to have ups and downs, and you don't want to hang on your emotions based on anyone that says yes or anyone that says no. You want to realize that it's part of a sorting process. And so we kind of have a little fun way to do that. Fun way of doing that, we call it red apples, green apples, and rotten apples. Now, it doesn't mean that they're rotten people or anything, but red apples are the kind of people that say yes, they're looking. We're looking for people who are looking. The green apples are people that have questions and need a little bit more time. Maybe the timing's not perfect, not right for them right now, and that's cool too. We can direct those people to some additional resources. There's all kinds of videos, the ASEAScience.com, for example. And then most importantly, the ones that say no, for some people, it doesn't matter how good the business model is. It doesn't matter how good the product is. For some people, they're just not open-minded. And you don't want to get hung up with that, because just accept people where they're at. In fact, we kind of make a joke out of rotten apples and, oh yeah, had a rotten apple. Just someone who wasn't ready. And when you do that, you realize it's just a sorting process, and it takes that emotional roller coaster ride out of it. We're just looking for people who are looking and following up with people, following up with the rest. And so so back to you, Melissa.
So when Bart says we're looking for people who are looking, we're identifying what already exists. So we're sorting through people. We're not convincing anyone for a certain outcome, our outcome or whatever it is. It's not about that. And the scale of influence is important. You've potentially all seen this through the fast track training that Bart and I go through. So let's say, for the sake of time, I'll just get specific on what this is. Most people who come into this industry, it's human nature for us to recruit down. So if we're an 8, we love to go out and find 1s and 2s or 5s or 6s depends on who you are, but that's because it's our comfort zone. But when it comes to the scale going down to zero, that's the sphere of influence. So these people aren't typically really influential, which is okay, because we have a list of people that are the 10 easiest that we want to expose the technology to and get them to a private business reception. But the important point is we need to make sure that we're recruiting up. We're looking for 9s and 10s. We're sorting for people who have massive scale of influence. So as you can imagine, when Alan found Trish and Bob, in terms of the scale of influence, ASEA wouldn't be where it is today, as Trish said, without the scale of influence that Trish and Bob have brought into ASEA for all of us. So there's a training specifically on this psychological preparedness, as I mentioned, the fast track training. Don't get bogged down in the details. For our new associates, to let them know we're going to help you find your 9s and 10s. And so what that means is we're going to encourage them right then and there, do it with them, to write down names and phone numbers of their 10 best.
So on your 10 best, I mean, this is the place where people kind of move into fear. This is our chicken list, essentially, because people have anxiety or fear when it comes to talking with people who are typically above their economic or socioeconomic place. And so let's say, for example, if so when you think about this, the people who have the most influence, the most credibility, they're the kind of people that can bring in lots and lots of people straight away. So I want you to just think, who do you know? In fact, if you've got a pen and paper, just write this out, brainstorm it for just a second, and just think, who do I know who is the most influential people in my life? Who do you know? You got a name? Write down a name. Think of it. Write it down right now. So because you won't, otherwise you might not even, these names may not even pop in your head otherwise. And you want to do this with your brand new person, to really sit and question them on some of this stuff. The next one is, who do you know who's the best salesperson that you've ever known? Might have been a real estate salesperson, or a card salesman, or someone who's just giving you some really good service, and they're just really good with people. They're also, who do you know who are some of the most influential people that you know in general? Who are some of them? Who is so successful that they would not be interested in this whatsoever?
That's a good one.
That's a good question. Yeah, people have all these, oh, they wouldn't be interested because they're too successful. Well, everybody needs these products, and you know what? Where we're going with this in terms of the timing, we can show those people how to open doors, make some connections, and that they can grab a position where they could have some fantastic residual income. And so don't prejudge people. You know, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, some might say that they say no, but actually the worst thing that could happen is you go back to them later when you finally muster up your courage, and they say, oh, you should have called me before, because I already signed up.
Right.
So your 10 easiest, this is pretty straightforward. It's, you know, if you were going to go out to lunch with somebody or invite someone out to dinner, who would join you right now just because it's you? Who's your best friend? Who would you talk to about, you know, if you have a challenge or concern, or, you know, who are your 10 easiest people that would just join you because you're involved? Write down some of those names.
And that's the key. It's got an asterisk beside it for these points that Bart's mentioning, because it needs to happen right then and there. And there's a method to that madness, because once people get up and walk away, then we've lost an opportunity to help them to set themselves up for success and momentum in their business. So that's why there's space there for that. And then the 10 easiest, we're going to create a fun private business reception, which is an in-home meeting at their house, where we'll either have an expert feature live run through the presentation or do that over Zoom. So this is just making sure that that date's been set up. Okay, now yet again, our fast track training goes through this last section, number 3, in a lot of detail. And when I say number 3, it's the taking of immediate action. And approach and peak interest we cover very heavily on the fast track training as well. I'll just touch on it briefly for the sake of time, but it's a matter of letting your new associates know, don't get too caught up in what you're going to say, because 7% of communication is our words. It's how we show up. It's our body language and our tone of voice. So when we approach someone with absolute confidence, with a sense of urgency, when we're direct to the point, we have a method of being able to remove their objection by saying it up front. When we create curiosity and we advise them, or we encourage them to not tell and sell and explain, because a lot of people, particularly new people, do that, and it makes it very difficult to help move people forward, and create an easy situation where they can find out more. So attached will be some sample scripts. This is just an idea of some wording of that, and we're going to go through that with our new associates to help them feel comfortable with a script that suits them, and then we're going to set up an appointment time to role play that with them so that they're really, really excited to be using this script. And then we're going to make sure that they're introducing a third-party expert.
Yep, so kind of the ABC process. The A is you, the B is the prospect, and the C is the expert. Basically, you have a trust relationship with the prospect, but the thing is the people that we know, they know us a certain way, and so they trust us. But what we want to do is to bring an expert on and edify them, because sometimes the people that know us best, they have all these preconceived notions of how they know us and who we are. They probably don't recognize you as a redox signaling expert, and so. So what you want to do is quickly get them onto it for an expert, use that edification process. I can promise you that this will make a huge, huge difference in your business. You know, everybody that does three-way phone calls doesn't make $10,000 a month, but I can guarantee you that everybody who's making $10,000 a month does three-way phone calls, and they've built a business by using the synergy of this tool, this process. So make sure that you practice this with your upline. And also make sure that you review the rules of edifying an expert, how to edify them. And basically, when you introduce your expert, your job is to be quiet and listen, and let the expert do the talking with your prospect and build some rapport and get their questions.
Thanks, Bart. So in conclusion, we're going to show our new associates that it's a really easy system that we're following. We are piquing interest, creating curiosity in a new possibility. So we're piquing interest with a new prospect. We're connecting them straight to a third-party expert who will be doing the presentation and the quick start training, whether that's a private business reception or a business reception in a local hotel. We can go through that with them, and then we plug them into the training events, both that we offer as our team in terms of fast track leadership, and that's offered globally through our upline as well. We plug them into corporate events, and we repeat the cycle. This is the system. This is our business. This is the blueprint for how we do our business. It's not any more complicated than this. So it's really exciting, because we're going to say that they need to take immediate action. And then we're collating a fast track training video so that if your new associate can't get on one of our Saturday calls, they can review the video along with videos that will be created for each section, really quick, easy to use videos, easy to refer to videos, so that you can understand this getting started document a lot better. And as you can see at the very bottom, there's a section for some notes. So the idea is either you keep this document for your new associate or they keep it, but you get together with them, you determine the frequency of appointments and how long each one's going to take. But the red asterisks, they have to be done straight away, as soon as possible, in the first 24 to 48 hours of a new associate saying that they're interested in ASEA as a business. So yet again, keep in mind that we did cover a lot of information, but it's very easily broken down. It's a great start, particularly if you get somebody in your team who says, you know, I'm stuck, or things don't seem to be going as smoothly as what I'd hoped. Pull out their getting started sheet. Make sure that it's been gone through. It's really our responsibility as an upline to make sure that our people are completely set up for success. So if they don't know, if they're not using a script that makes sense, and if they're not edifying an expert, we can help them with that. We can tick that off the list if it hasn't been done. But I know when I founded and set up chiropractic clinics, the first 3 appointments with our patients made the difference between a booming business in weeks, months, and being one of the, still to this date, one of the highest selling chiropractic clinics in Australia, because of the systems. When the new patient came in, we did this. The report of findings was the next visit, we did this. And then the third visit, we went through our policies and procedures with them. So we're excited because the system is easy. We're looking forward to your questions and feedback. And don't worry, it's all going to come together. But this is a really exciting tool that I know a lot of you will love. And we're looking forward to, making improvements down the track to it when we need to. But we're really excited with what's being created. So thank you. Okay, so we have gone over time, but as far as I'm concerned, it's totally worth it because of what Trish was able to share with us. So hang in there, we're going to run through the rest of the PowerPoint just because you absolutely need to know about a few new resources and some upcoming events that we have to share with you simply because it's going to make a massive difference to the momentum in your team, and not to mention these new events that ASEA have or promotions that they have created for us as well. So I don't know if you want to add anything, Bart, whilst I get back to the...
Yeah, there was a good question that was asked, and that was, how do we access the new document? That's going to be, you'll be able to download that from our newsletter. Is that right?
Yep, that's exactly right. Absolutely.
Okay, so make sure you plug into the newsletter, and if you're not getting those, that'll be updated in the next newsletter that will be coming out.
Yeah.
So you'll have.
So what we'll do too is, for the sake of time and recording, we'll open it up for a few questions at the end if we can. Keeping in mind that this at 10 a.m. Eastern time in Australia is the Discover ASEA and a quick start training. So, Bart, if you could touch on these very briefly, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, look, guys, this is important because I believe that that there are some people out there that are underutilizing the power of promotional packs. Our goal is to set people up for success right from the very beginning. And so quite often, people start, we get them started with a case of ASEA, for example. Oh, I just want to try the ASEA. Well, if we have kind of an idea of where they want to go with this, let me just share our story. When we started, we didn't have a budget for redox signaling molecules. Our budget was fairly tight, actually, but we wanted to set ourselves up for success. So we chose to come in with a entrepreneur pack. Now at that time, in fact, it is one of the options that is just for the Renew 28, for example, 32 tubes, because we didn't have the full skincare line at that point in time. There was a small savings, but what ASEA has done is they packaged together a huge savings. So let's just take it, for example, an entrepreneur pack. If our goal is to set someone up for success in their business, what kind of products would they want? They would want personal products for themselves and their partner, right? Maybe other members of the family. They would want to have some product to demonstrate. They might want to have a little bit of extra product to sell, and they've got some sample tubes for promotional product as well. You can see the savings is $636.50. So with a free tube of serum and everything here, it's a substantial savings. Now, let's say it's better to start at that place, and then you can always come down. For example, if they say, well, that's maybe just a little more than I can do right now, maybe do a family pack. But remember that you're giving them the savings, you're setting them up for success in their business. And when you look at this like a business and you realize the potential of what we have, literally for less than a couple $1,000s to be able to have someone set up is really pretty amazing. And also within the first 30 days, someone can order 4 cases of ASEA for the price of 3 on the Fast Start promotion. So when you go into the NFR site, you've got the advantage with that. So again, make sure that people are aware of the advantages that they have with this, the savings, the loyalty points, the everything. So this will create more volume for you, so you win. There's more commissions, of course, too, but our goal is really about setting the new person up for success, and everything with these packs is about doing that.
Thanks, Bart. And the reason why we're mentioning the packs on every training now is because we found in our organisation in Australia, these packs are not being utilised enough. And so we need to work with you to make sure that you are using them, because they're not set in stone. They're due to expire in September. So it's a privilege for us to be able to benefit, because ASEA has put them together for us to set our new associate up, as Bart said, for success. So Bart's going to quickly run through some of the new incentives and touch on the pick and play very quickly.
Okay, so the pick and play, this goes until September 30th. So anybody that, this is an opportunity. There's actually, if you want to click the next slide, babe, there's 3 different ways of this. Double the loyalty reward points. So any associate, for example, in the loyalty program, if they, let's say they're only on the ASEA, if they add any of the skincare products to that, all of a sudden they're going to double the loyalty reward points. So let's say if they're on 10%, they're now going to get 20% loyalty reward points toward free product. So if they've been on auto ship and they're at 20%, well, now they're going to be at 40%. It's a phenomenal savings, and it's a way to really get people to increase their order a little bit. Reconnect with Redox. If you go right into your back office and you click on this this widget, go to the top, you can actually see who has been inactive for a while, and basically by reconnecting them with Redox, they're offered free product, which is this month is the moisturizer, and next month is the serum. So those are two pretty substantial products. So again, if they haven't reconnected, they're going to get a free tube of each one of these for the month of August and the month of September, simply by reactivating. And you can see the list of who's available to pick that up. And then the last one is, yeah, there we go, top rookies. We've got several people, Kaz and Jen on our team, and let's see, Dr. Moritz, Dr. Monica in New Zealand, they're on the leaders board. This is a chance to earn some free money, just by enrolling, being one of the top people. So a rookie would be anyone who is new within the last 30 days or the last 12 months, so within the last year. So definitely plug into that incentive. And then the next thing we want to tell you about is brand new as of right now. ASEA has put together a special incentive to get free tickets, product, swag, all sorts of things for the upcoming convention that's going to be at the Gold Coast. Now that's going to be on February 17th. This gives you an opportunity to build strong teams and increase your income. It creates unity within your team and across New Zealand and Australia. Also is a chance to improve your personal and professional skills and discover the leader within you by developing leaders in your team. So anyway, so have some fun, and here's the rules of how that rolls out. So this contest starts basically right now, August 2nd, and it goes through January the 1st. So any associates or preferred customers in Australia are eligible to play. And here's how it works. You earn points to get 3 different ways: enrollment orders and rank advancement, and then also leadership. As you help develop your team, you earn points as well. Next slide. So every associate who enrolls with 100 points, so just one case of product, and they have to have an auto ship template for it to count, then that's one way of earning points. Every preferred customer who enrolls with at least 50 points, so let's say, for example, 2 tubes of the Renew 28, and they have to be on an auto ship with that. All products purchased count, so for consistency for ordering products, we get points for that. In fact, every auto ship order receives points as well. So when you enroll people, you want to make sure that we're incentivizing, ASEA is incentivizing the behaviors that we want to create in our business. Next slide. Okay, so here's the points that you receive as you rank advance. So as you hit director, director 300, director 700, bronze, and so forth, you can see that the points increase for each one of these rank advancements. So next. Obviously aim high and help your team to rank advance as well, because you actually earn points as you help them to rank advance as well. So I believe it's 5 points for each rank advancement that you help your people that you personally sponsored to rank advance. So the grand prize, whoever gets the most points, they get tickets for 2 VIP seating, 300 travel reimbursement. There's an ASEA gift bag full of some beautiful swag, shirts and hats and whatever that they've got. Branded ASEA water bottle, as well as $1,000 cash, and be able to share your story on stage. Obviously, you can see the prizes for the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th places as well. So there's going to be 20 qualifiers for the 2nd place and 30 qualifiers for the 3rd place. And so, and let's see, 50 qualifiers for the 4th place. So they've really expanded this to where people can get, at the very minimum, free event registration, but also some nice gifts and surprises as well. So this is going to be taking place, as I mentioned, on February the 17th. It's going to be at the Gold Coast Convention Center and Convention Exhibition Center. And let's see, the hotel that we're suggesting that people go to is where, Ben?
It's the Marriott. No, it's the Meriton. The Marriott is if you're going to the convention in Salt Lake City. So this convention, it's the Meriton. Lorene Bavart told me about it, and you can book. I booked months ago for accommodation there because it's very close to the convention center, and you don't have to pay to get there. And the rates do go up closer to the event, so get in early.
Yeah.
Thanks for running through that, Bart, because we're really excited that Kim Hill is working with us along with Justin Wilson as ASEA Corporate to make sure that there is an incentive for this convention. It's a lot of fun to run for these incentives, and we're really excited because every amount of money helps to get people there.
Yeah. So, yeah, famous Zig Ziglar quote, you can have anything in life that you want if you help enough other people get what they want. Now, something else that's really cool that's coming up is resources. This is really powerful, guys. Dr. Rob Ward has written a book, Dr. Robertson Ward, Healthy Cells, Healthy Life. This is specifically, balancing redox for better health. This is really the nuts and bolts. This is something that we've been waiting for, looking for, excited for. And this book is available. You just simply go to the redoxdoc.com and you can order the book. In fact, there's some discounts that you can, if you want to click the slide there, Melissa.
Yeah. It was also Nicole Dennis did a brilliant interview with Dr. Robertson Ward. It goes for about 30 minutes, but it's well worth listening to get a background on why this book came about, why it's essential for us to know the information in it. So there's the Vimeo link for that. And
yeah, we're actually talking about putting together a webinar, bringing Dr. Rob Ward on at a time for our Australian associates, and so we'll let you know. So keep an eye out in the newsletter for that, because we'll interview Dr. Rob Ward where he can talk about his book a little bit. So
I'll go through this slide, Bart, and then you can do the next one. So sure. Our cells work. It gives us an opportunity to learn how our cells work and how our genetic potential is expressed. It covers aging and illness, how it occurs, and how you can investigate possibilities to improve your health. It goes through how the impact of daily living can destabilize the body's innate ability to maintain homeostasis, which is balance. It also covers redox biochemistry and how it affects key body systems and how they function, and how redox support can assist in the treatment or management of specific conditions. And it shows us how to build a belief in this science and technology. So it's definitely for everyone of all levels of understanding, from brand new people who don't know what redox biochemistry is, up to the people who are more comfortable with what it is. But it is a phenomenal tool, and we're so grateful that he has put this together.
So there are some discounts available. So when you go to his site, now, by the way, guys, these discounts are not going to last. So I would really encourage you to go ahead and take the pre-order discount, get a supply of books. You can have some of those books available for your team, for your prospects, and put it in their hands straight away. So obviously, just go into that website and you'll see the different discounted packs. You can get 10 books, for example, 40, 70, or 100, and the discount goes up to as high as 40% off pre-orders. So these books are going to be available at the convention as well. However, books are kind of heavy to stick in your suitcase. So if you're coming over to the convention, it'd be better to just have them shipped right here. So only 60, let's say if you got 100 books, it's only $60 US dollars for the shipping. That's pretty amazing.
Thanks, Bart. So we're nearly there. We're going to quickly cover upcoming events. So make sure you're subscribed according to this link to our team newsletter so that you get kept up to date. And if you have associates who want to unsubscribe at some stage, you need to know that they can do that by clicking on the bottom of every single email that comes out from us. So this is the format so that you're familiar. Just know that all events will be listed on the left-hand side of the email and all resources will be listed on the right-hand side. So it's just easy. They're numbered. So you just go down, they're categorized in terms of live events and webinar events, and you just scroll through them. They're all numbered and usually in sequence according to the next event that's coming up. So right now in Melbourne, you can see the ASEA Corporate Tour, Chinese and English event. There's a link, an Eventbrite link down the bottom. Today's the cut-off day for the early bird tickets for Sydney and Brisbane. They're only $5, which is peanuts compared to the value that we actually get at this event and at these events. And they'll go up to $10 as of tomorrow. So make sure you register. Also, so we can show ASEA Corporate that we're supporting them with making sure that we fill the room, because the information that's covered at these events, particularly for new associates or new guests even, is phenomenal. So here's the details: Ride Eastwood, Leagues Club. Actually, that's interesting. I didn't put the date in there. Oh, no, yes, I did. Thursday, August the 10th. And then Saturday, August the 12th. So Bart and I will be in Sydney and we'll be in Brisbane as well. So we're excited to meet as many of you there who can make it to those events. So Bart also covers, and I do at times too, the Discover ASEA and Quick Start training. Need to educate your team that they can go to timeanddate.com and do a conversion based on where they live so that people aren't confused about the time zone changes. But for argument's sake, there's every Wednesday night that this is run and every Saturday morning in Australia or every Friday night in the US. The link is easy, advancinglifeintro.com, and there's the webinar ID and telephone details for those of you that patch in that way. The fast track training, or which was known as the basic training, that's every Saturday morning from 11 to 12 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Yet again, the same link. Stevie Aquilina, a gold level associate in our organisation under Dan Doyle, he does these phenomenal Advancing Life intro calls, which you can see are at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 12 p.m. and 9 p.m. Monday to Thursday in New Zealand. Same link, easy. It's all the same link. They're phenomenal calls. Stevie does an absolutely brilliant job, and they're fantastic. All of these calls, all of these webinars are really important for new people, guests, and for existing associates to learn the skills of this business. So we've mentioned convention. Are you hearing us mentioning it a lot, simply because it's upcoming and not to be missed as leaders in this business. You can be there. So, yep, we're coming to the end of the presentation today. We start the next presentation in 1 minute. It is the Discover ASEA presentation with the Quick Start training for new guests. Now, just to let you know, the reason why you're seeing the same presentations, let's say Discover ASEA presentation and the Quick Start training and the Fast Start training, it's the same presentation for duplication reasons. That's so that your new associates can come on. We are your experts. We run them through the presentation. You have the confidence to know what's going to be covered, and it's for momentum, plugging new people into, as well as for you to learn to do these presentations yourself. We're very, very grateful for Trish coming on today. She did an absolutely amazing job. I'm sure you'll agree she's an inspiration to all of us. We're so fortunate that she could spend that much time with us. So the next Big Vision call is scheduled for Friday, September 1st in the US and Saturday, September 2nd for us in Australia. So we thank you so much for joining us. We've run out of time for Q&A, but please know we'll be creating videos and running trainings on that Getting Started sheet so that you all start to feel really comfortable with it. And we're excited about the future and meeting you at these events. So thank you very much for being on the line today, and have a fantastic rest of your weekend. I don't know, Bart, if you wanted to add anything.
Look, I was just going to say, first of all, if you can go ahead and share the screen with me, or not share the screen, but share, turn over the host controls to me. I can go ahead and do the Discover ASEA presentation. What we'll do is we'll take a 1 minute break, and then we'll